A domain name is more than just a website name or an extension. It is an identity and one of the best marketing tools. Today, I'm at Kenik to better understand about a DN and a DNS. My name is Samson Jura and welcome to the show. Once again, my name is Samson Jura and today I'm at Kenik, as I had mentioned before, and I am with Vincent. And who better to explain or to introduce Vincent rather than Vincent himself. Vincent, shukran sana kupatia muda wako siku hii ya leo. And first of all, we would like you to start by introducing yourself for our viewers to understand and know whom we are talking to today.
Thank you so much, Samson, for the invite here today at Technovation Show. It's an honor to be here. My name is Vincent Nyaga from the Kenya Network Information Center.
All right, Vincent. Now, Kenya Network Information Center. What does Kenya Network Information Center do? When was it established, and what is its core mandate?
So the Kenya Network Information Center, commonly referred to as KENIC, is a company limited by guarantee, licensed to manage and administer the .ke country code top level domain. KENIC was established in the year 2003. And this was achieved through a consultative process and facilitations of the Communications Authority of Kenya, and it was issued with the operational license in the year 2015. The establishment of KENIC was necessitated by the need to have a stable, reliable and secure .ke domain namespace in Kenya, which was to give brands a competitive advantage and an online presence. So ultimately, this has led to intense the uptake of .ke domain name in Kenya, which has made it the most sought after domain name extension in the country at the moment.
All right, you've mentioned the necessity. What necessitated the starting of KENIC was to give people an online presence in the country. Now, what would you say is the mission and vision for KENIC as a company?
Okay, the vision of KENIC is to have a .ke domain name for every organization and individual by 2030. Hopefully that is not too soon, and we are headed the right way with that. The mission of KENIC is to manage and promote a secure and reliable .ke domain name.
All right, I think that is fair enough. Now, in matters policy, every company have this, including the government itself. So what are some of the policies that drive KENIC as a company, and also some of the values that you guys have?
As a company, we are driven by core values, which are passion, we have efficiency, diversity, excellence and trust. Those are the core values that drive us as a company.
Mm-hmm. And the policies?
Policies, we have a couple of policies that govern the management and administration of the .ke country code top level domain. And one of the key policies is the WHOIS policy. WHOIS policy is a policy that demonstrates the usage and the rights of ownership of a domain name. This is with regards to the details that registrant or the owner of a domain name gives when registering a domain. And key to this, it's always good to ensure when you're registering a domain as the end user, the details that you're giving, the contact information is correct and accurate and up-to-date information. Failure to this could lead to deletion or suspension of your domain name. So we urge all Kenyans and .ke domain users to ensure that when you're registering a domain, your contact information given is up to date. This contact information includes your actual name, your phone number, email address, and billing address as well. The other policy that we do have is the alternate dispute resolution policy. This is a policy that governs the usage and guiding the disputes of domain names. Currently, we find that there are a couple of disputes that do arise from domain name. I think for any sane market, there never misses to be disputes. So disputes that are commonly arise from domain names, we have domains like domain hijacking or domain infringement. So with regards to that, KENIC, we have an entity, or we have a body a committee that handles the disputes. And with regards to this, we offer mediation at KENIC, which is free, and it's purely voluntary to resolve the disputes. Then apart from that, we also have the registrar accreditation policy, whereby the registrar is the entity that is mandated to register the domain name on behalf of the end user. So the registrar, we have a policy that guides them on how to manage and operate the .ke domain name.
All right. Now you've mentioned that it is your core mandate is actually giving Kenyans an online presence and helping them make their businesses flourish, if I'm not wrong. So is it expensive in acquiring a .ke domain name?
Well, the costing of .ke domain name, I'll term they to be quite fair, if not cheap, because the cost of .ke domain is currently roughly around $1 or less than $1. And with regards to that, you find that when you're registering a domain, you have to do it through an accredited KENIC registrar. So you find that since you cannot register a domain directly from KENIC, we have a model of operation that we do use, which is the KENIC being the registry, we have the registrar and the registrant being the end user of the domain. For the cost of domain now varies amongst these accredited registrars, and what causes the variation in pricing is the value addition services that are offered with a domain name. A domain name is more of like an island, stands on its own, but you cannot use it on its own. You have to include other services to it, which now include hosting of a domain name and SSL, things like SSL certificates, which now makes the variation in the pricing of the domain. So generally, it's fairly priced.
So how many domains are there in your registry or database?
Okay, currently we are glad that we are slightly over the 100,000 mark of registered .ke domain names in the country. And these are registered, the owners of these domains are not only limited to Kenya, we have a global audience of the users of these domains.
One question that I think would linger in many people's minds, because when you speak about domain name, of course, the internet has to be involved, and with the internet there comes ways in which people can do stuff like buying and selling goods, education and stuff like that. But then again, we have innovations, and as you know, innovations are ways in which you get to solve our problems. So how does KENIC help innovators in this, and also how do you help the innovators come when they have some of the innovations they want to showcase in coming up with solutions to problems that are affecting the country and the globe at large, that will help Kenya also achieve its Vision 2030, not forgetting the Big Four agenda that we have at the moment?
So with regards to KENIC helping innovators, you find that with the .ke domain, it gives you a unique online presence. I believe with regards to technology, everyone wants to be online today. So with regards to having a domain, first thing, you're able to showcase whatever you have to the global. One of our key partners is the countrywide innovation hubs. We've partnered with a couple of innovation hubs in the country, whereby we help them incubate their programs. For instance, people who are into web development and web design, as KENIC, we do come on board and assist them in, for instance, if you're into web hosting, we can provide you some hosting web space that you can host your website as you're developing other programs into it. We also know that our website is the first platform where you are able to host, probably for instance, an application. And through collaboration with these entities, you're able to get a space to secure your platform or to host your platform on it. I would like Kenyans to know that a domain name is the unique identifier online. This is the unique code or name that identifies you on the website. So we have a domain name, which now makes it easier for people to remember the domain name. An example of a domain name is www.kutv.co.ke. And with this being a company, that's why you have a .co.ke. We have other domain extensions under Kenya Network Information Center. We have a .go.ke, which is for government entities. We have .me.ke, which is for individuals and for personal branding. We also have .mobi.ke, which is for mobile entities. We also have .se.ke.
Well, most of us, if not many, normally type on the internet, right, looking for a certain website, not knowing that there is more behind this, something as the domain name. And today is all about dissecting this and helping you as the viewer understand what goes on behind the scene, because as Vincent has mentioned, there is a string of numbers, because a domain name is just like your phone number, but there are other numbers and digits that accompany it to help it understand over the internet. Well, on that note, Technovation Show will be taking a short break. Remember to leave your comments and or suggestions on our social media handles at QTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also fire questions at Technovation Show 2020 at Gmail. On the other side of the break, I'll be talking to someone who will be talking about the technicalities about having a domain name and maybe a domain name server, what that is all about. Technovation Show will be taking a short break. See you on the other side. Welcome back. Before we went on a break, I did promise that we are going to bring somebody to talk about the technical aspects of having or owning a domain in Kenya, and with me is Beth. And without further ado, let me welcome her so that she can introduce herself, so that you can know who she is and what she does.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be on this platform. My name is Beth Njau. I serve in the technical department as the Assistant System Administrator. As it had been mentioned before, KENIC operates as a 3R model: registry, registrant, the registrant, meaning that you do not register domains directly. So if you want to register a domain, the first thing is identify the domain you want. And that domain must be short and very memorable. You do not want to select a name that even you yourself cannot be able to pronounce or even tell your audience. So make sure the domain is very short and memorable. The second thing, check its availability.
These domain names, or rather the website, they need some sort of maintenance for them to remain operational, or rather to improve on the user experience. So do you train the people who get the domains from you to do the maintenance, or you have people for tech support who do this for the clients on your behalf?
Okay, from our end, what we offer is the registry platform for registrars to register the domains on behalf of our registrant. So basically what we do, we notify them that we are going to carry out a maintenance. So that means we do the maintenance from our end for our systems or any platform that our registrars are going to use. We inform them that on a particular day, they're going to be maintenance, and we have a couple of services that will be affected. So make sure you also notify your audience that there's going to be an outage, maybe for a period of 3 to 4 hours, and then from the back end we work on what we're supposed to do. Mostly it's upgrades to make sure that the support is offering better services day in, day out. And also what we pride in is offering maintenance 99.99. You may have come across something we call DNS. That is the domain name system. What is DNS? DNS is the internet phone book. We all have phone books. We all have the phone contact in our phone books. So the DNS translates the IP address, that is something like 192.6.0.38 to a domain name. Since as a layman, you cannot be able to memorize an IP address 192.0.0.1, it will be easier to memorize something like safaricom.co.ke. So the DNS system translates that IP addresses to the name that you go to type on the internet.
Well, I'm sure our viewers have understood what DNS is all about. She has said that it does translate the IP addresses to domain names. I'm sure even some of you who have more than 2 phone numbers don't remember or don't have them offered, so that when somebody asks you what is your phone number, you find yourself looking for a reference. Now, Beth, who are some of your target audiences when it comes to matters domain names? Which people do you sell the idea to for getting the domain names at schools, shops? Tell us about this.
I believe anyone can get a domain. Mostly we target businesses. We have .co.ke for profit organizations. We have .or.ke for non-profit. We also target learning institutions. Currently, with the when COVID came, we also most schools went online, right? So we target both high institutions and low institutions. We also target the government. We can see so many ruling cases being done online. So we are really priding in that. So we are targeting the government as well. We have personal domains, that is .me.ke, in case you want to be a blogger. Beth.me.ke, that's our target. And then you have now organizations like Safaricom, .mobi and .ne.ke. Yes.
Well, it's a good thing you've mentioned about your target audiences. So, who are some of the people that you are partnering with in the tech space, or rather in the business sector, or even in the private or public sectors? Who are some of your partners? And lastly, under which regulatory body in the country is KENIC under?
KENIC, we are under Communications Authority of Kenya. They are our licensee. And some of our partners, we've really partnered with a couple of organizations all over. We have Communications Authority of Kenya as one of them. We also have Huduma Kenya. We've done a couple of partnerships. We have TESPOC. We have ICANN, assigned Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. We have AFTLD, African Top Level Domain. We have Kiktanet, that is a body that is in charge of most of internet conversations around the country. We have innovation hubs all over the country. We've made sure that we're also penetrating where those ideas are coming from. We also have Brand Kenya. We've done a couple of partnerships. And the final one, we have KENET, Kenya Network Education Trust. Yes, that's a body that mostly deals with the education sector.
So, as we conclude this conversation, what would be your last words?
It's to encourage that we all buy what belongs to us. We are selling the mantra, buy Kenya, build Kenya. You get? Because you all want to go online, not only in Kenya, but also globally. So I encourage all of us, let's buy our own, let's promote our own.
Well, for innovators who are ardent followers of Technovation Show, I hope you've known whom to look for when you want to get yourself a domain name. And as Beth has rightly put it, let's push the mantra: buy Kenya, build Kenya. As usual, I hope you learned something new out of this episode. Remember to leave your comments and or suggestions on our social media handles at QTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. And also you can find previous episodes of Technovation Show on our YouTube channel, that is Technovation Show. Until next time, my good name is and will forever will be Samson Jura. See you on the next episode. Au revoir.